They said I was too pathetic to attend the wedding, too controlling with my money. So, I stopped controlling it. I just pulled it all back. The £40,000 trust gone. The honeymoon in Montego Bay canceled mid-reception. Insurance revoked. 3 hours after the I do. They were outside my gate with lawyers. I didn't open it. I had better things to watch on TV. My name is Arthur Bellwether. I'm 52, Senior Operations Manager at Meridian Dynamics in Manchester. I spent 19 years raising Tristan like my own son. His biological father, Gareth, showed up maybe 3 times total. Birthday cards with cash when it was convenient. The morning of Tristan's wedding started normal. Coffee brewing. Alara still asleep. My phone buzzed. Text from Tristan. Hey Art. Need to talk about something. I expected logistics. Pickup time. Maybe last-minute jitters. What came next was different. Isolde and I talked. We don't think you should come to the wedding today. Her family's traditional, and it's complicated. My dad, Gareth, is going to be there. We don't want tension. I read it 3 times. Then another message appeared. Isolde thinks you've been controlling with money stuff. She says, it's pathetic how you hold it over my head. We want a drama-free day. Hope you understand. Pathetic. That word just sat there on the screen. I didn't respond. Didn't yell. Just stood in my kitchen in boxers and an old university shirt holding cold coffee. 19 years. I paid for his braces when Gareth couldn't. Taught him to drive in my Land Rover. Co-signed his first apartment. Wrote checks for City College. Then more when he switched to graphic design. I bought his first car, a Ford Focus. Nothing fancy. Changed the oil myself every 3 months. When he totaled it on the M60, I didn't scream. I filed insurance and helped him find another. Last year, when he proposed, I took him to dinner at the Grand Grill. Told him I was proud, that I'd always be there. He called me Dad that night. And now this. I walked to my office and pulled down an old file box labeled Tristan. Important documents. Inside were receipts, every single one. Tuition payments, rent checks, car title with my name, medical bills, insurance policy additions, and the trust fund. £40,000 I'd set up 7 years ago after a promotion. Discretionary trust, me as grantor. Paperwork was clear. I retained all rights to revoke or redirect funds anytime. Tristan just knew there was some money set aside for a house or family. Footsteps on the stairs. Alara appeared, hair messy, still in her robe. Rob, aren't you getting ready? We leave in an hour, Alara said. We're not going, I said quietly. She blinked. What? Tristan doesn't want me there. Her face shifted, not surprise. Something else that told me she knew. How long have you known? I asked. She hesitated. Alara, how long? They told me last week, she admitted. Isolde's family is particular. Gareth's going to be there, and they thought it would be easier. Easier for who? She didn't answer. I pulled out the trust documents and laid them on the desk. What are you doing? Alara asked. Correcting a mistake, I said. The office felt smaller than usual. Maybe because the walls were closing in with the weight of what I was about to do. I sat at my desk and opened my laptop, pulling up the folder I created years ago. Encrypted, password protected, the kind of thing you set up when you're trying to be responsible. When you still believe family means something. Inside were PDFs of every major financial document tied to Tristan. The trust agreement, bank statements showing deposits, receipts for the car payments, insurance premiums, tuition checks, even the stupid £400 loan I gave him 3 years ago when he needed new tires and swore he'd pay me back. He never did. I clicked on the trust document first. £40,000 established in 2017. The language was clear as day. Grantor retains full discretionary authority, including revocation, reallocation, and modification of beneficiary terms at any time without consent of beneficiary. Translation, it was mine. All of it. I could freeze it, redirect it, donate it to the Humane Society if I wanted to. Tristan had no legal claim. I opened a new email to my estate attorney, Mr. Sinclair. Mr. Sinclair and I went back 15 years. He'd handled my will, Alara's will, the paperwork when we bought the house. Solid guy, didn't ask unnecessary questions. Lou, need immediate action on the discretionary trust for Tristan Hayes. Freeze all distributions effective immediately. Prepare formal revocation documents. We'll call Monday to discuss permanent reallocation. Arthur. I hit send before I could second-guess myself. Next was the travel folder. Tristan and Isolde's honeymoon. Montego Bay, 5-star resort, all-inclusive package, booked 8 months ago under my credit card as a wedding gift. £10,000. The confirmation email sat right there in my inbox, complete with reservation number and cancellation policy. I forwarded it to myself, then opened the resort's website and found a contact form. Typed quickly, professionally. To whom it may concern, I need to cancel reservation number 84729 under the name Hayes. The cardholder is initiating a chargeback effective immediately. Please confirm cancellation. No further contact necessary. Send. The car insurance was next. I pulled up the policy documents. Tristan was still listed under my plan. Had been since he turned 16. I kept him on it even after he moved out. Even after he got his own place. Saved him a fortune in premiums. I called Sovereign Mutual. Automated system first, then a live person. Sovereign Mutual. This is Jennifer. How can I help you today? I need to remove a driver from my policy today, I said. Absolutely, sir. Can I get your policy number? I rattled it off. And the driver's name, Tristan Hayes. Typing sounds. Okay, I see him here. Is this a permanent removal? Yes. May I ask the reason? Just for our records. He's no longer part of my household, I said. Technically true. Understood. This will take effect at midnight tonight. Your new premium will be adjusted on the next billing cycle. Anything else I can help with? That's it. Thank you, Mr. Bellwether. Have a great day. I hung up and stared at the screen. 3 actions in less than 20 minutes. Trust frozen. Honeymoon canceled. Insurance terminated. The kind of moves that would take Tristan weeks to untangle, if he even could. Alara appeared in the doorway. She got dressed, put on makeup, the lavender dress she bought specifically for the wedding. Arthur, we need to talk about this, she said, her voice shaky. Nothing to talk about. He's my son and he made his choice, I said, not looking up from the laptop. I'm just making mine. You're being cruel. That made me stop. I turned in my chair to face her fully. Cruel? I repeated. Cruel is raising a kid for 19 years and getting called pathetic. Cruel is being uninvited to a wedding you paid for. Cruel is finding out your own wife knew about it and said nothing. Her eyes filled with tears. They didn't want to hurt you. Well, mission failed, I said, turning back to the computer. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have more mistakes to correct. She stood there for a moment longer, then left. I heard her heels on the hardwood, heard the bedroom door close upstairs. I pulled up one more document. Tristan's apartment lease. I'd co-signed it 14 months ago when his credit wasn't good enough. The lease renewal was coming up in 6 weeks. I made a note to contact the landlord Monday morning and remove myself as guarantor. They wanted me out of their lives. Done. But they didn't get to keep the safety net I'd built underneath them. The house felt different after Alara left for the wedding. Quieter, but not peaceful. More like the silence before a storm breaks. I made another pot of coffee and went back to my office. There was one more thing Tristan didn't know about, the big one. 3 years ago, my company went through a major restructuring. I'd been with Meridian Dynamics for 26 years. Worked my way up from floor supervisor to senior management. When they consolidated the operations, I was offered early retirement or promotion. I took the promotion and a fat bonus, £55,000 after taxes. Alara wanted to use it for a kitchen remodel. I told her we'd get to that eventually. Instead, I set up a second trust. Called it the Grandchild Fund in my head, though I never told Tristan or Alara the full amount. Just mentioned once or twice that I'd put aside something for the future. £200,000 built up through smart investments, dividend reinvestment, a few lucky stock picks. The paperwork was buried in my safe deposit box at Regent Trust. Structured the same way as Tristan's trust. Discretionary, revocable, mine. I planned to give it to Tristan when his first kid was born. Help with a house down payment, college fund, whatever they needed. I pictured myself as the grandfather who could make life easier, the way my grandfather had done for me. Now, that money was going somewhere else. I called Mr. Sinclair Saturday morning. He picked up on the third ring. Arthur, I got your email. You sure about this? Mr. Sinclair asked. Completely sure. There's more. More? I have a second fund. Larger. I want it reallocated, too. Silence on the line. Then Mr. Sinclair exhaled slowly. How much larger? $250,000. Give or take. Jesus, Arthur, that's not small money. You want to move all of it. Every cent. I want it to go into the Veterans Education Fund. The one that helps kids from military families afford college. You realize once we do this, it's permanent. There's no walking it back. That's the point, I said. All right. I'll need the account information and trust documents. Can you get them to me Monday? I'll bring them to your office myself. One more thing, Mr. Sinclair said. If Tristan figures this out and challenges it, he's got no legal standing. But Alara might. As your spouse, she could argue community property, especially if any of this was accumulated during the marriage. The bonus was mine. The investments were mine. She never touched them. Okay, just making sure you know the landscape. I'll have everything drafted by Tuesday. I hung up and opened my email. The wedding had started 30 minutes ago. I pulled up Facebook on my phone, searched for Isolde's mother's profile. She'd been posting photos all week. Sure enough, there it was. Live updates. A photo of the ceremony space. White chairs, flower arrangements, string lights. Another photo of Gareth Brock in a cheap suit standing next to Tristan at the altar. The caption read, "So blessed to have both fathers here to support this beautiful union." Both fathers. Like I was just an accessory, an optional extra. I kept scrolling. Found a post from 2 weeks ago. Isolde's mother talking about wedding planning. One of the comments caught my eye. So glad you could keep it intimate. Family only is always better. Isolde's mother had replied. Exactly, just the people who really matter. I took a screenshot, forwarded it to my phone. Then I did something I'd never done before. I opened Tristan's Instagram, looked at his posts from the last 6 months, found one from his bachelor party. Him and 5 buddies at a bar. Beers raised. The caption, "Last night of freedom with my real family. Dad and the boys." Dad, meaning Gareth, not me. Never me. I closed the app and set my phone down. My hands weren't shaking. That surprised me. I felt calm, focused, like I'd been carrying something heavy for years and finally set it down. Alara came home around 6 o'clock that evening. I heard her car in the driveway, heard the front door open. She didn't call out, just came straight to the office. It was beautiful, she said quietly. Tristan looked happy. Good for him. Gareth gave a speech. Talked about how proud he was. I didn't respond. Arthur, please, can we just talk about this? I turned in my chair to face her. What's there to talk about? Tristan made his choice. You knew about it, and said nothing. I'm just cleaning up a mess. He's going to call you when he finds out about the honeymoon. Let him call. What am I supposed to tell him? Tell him the truth, I said. Tell him his pathetic stepfather stopped being pathetic. The call came at 9:47 p.m. Tristan. I let it ring 4 times before answering. Put it on speaker so Alara could hear. Arthur, what the hell did you do? Tristan's voice came through sharp, panicked. You'll need to be more specific, I said calmly. The resort? They said the reservation was canceled. They did a chargeback. That's correct. Are you serious right now? We're supposed to fly out tomorrow. You're still welcome to go. You just need to pay for it yourself. Pay for it, Arthur? That's £10,000. Then I guess you should have thought about that before uninviting me to your wedding. Silence. Then Isolde's voice in the background, shrill and angry. Is that him? Let me talk to him. Isolde wants to talk to you, Tristan said. I don't care what Isolde wants, I said and hung up. The phone rang again immediately. I declined the call. It rang again, declined. Then a text message appeared. You're unbelievable. After everything we did to keep the peace, you're punishing us for trying to avoid drama. I replied, you avoided me. Big difference. Another text. Mum said you'd understand. She promised you wouldn't make this difficult. I looked at Alara. She was sitting on the couch, face in her hands. Your mother was wrong. I typed back. Have a nice honeymoon. Or don't. Not my problem anymore. I blocked his number. Alara looked up. Arthur, you didn't have to do that. Yeah, I did. He's panicking. They don't have that kind of money. Not my concern. Isolde's parents might help. Good. Let her precious traditional family step up. My phone buzzed. Different number. Isolde. Mr. Bellwether. This is Isolde. I don't know what Tristan did to upset you, but taking away our honeymoon is cruel and manipulative. We're married now. This is supposed to be the happiest day of our lives, and you're ruining it. I showed the message to Alara. She looked away. I typed back. You call me pathetic. You cut me out of your wedding. Actions have consequences. Welcome to adulthood. Send. Block another number. Isolde's mother this time. Mr. Bellwether, I think there's been a misunderstanding. Perhaps we can discuss this like adults. I didn't respond, just blocked it. Then my phone rang. Gareth Brock, Tristan's biological father. I almost laughed. Yeah, I answered. Arthur, it's Gareth. Listen, Tristan called me upset. Maybe we can work this out. Man to man. Man to man. I repeated. That's rich coming from you. I know we've had our differences. You don't know anything. You weren't there when he had pneumonia at age 10. You weren't there when he failed algebra. You weren't there for anything except photo opportunities. I'm trying to help my son. Your son? Now he's your son? Where was that energy for 18 years? Look, I can't give him 10 grand for a honeymoon. Can you just— No, I said and hung up. Alara stood up. This is getting out of hand. It's just getting started. What does that mean? I pulled up the email from Mr. Sinclair. It means Monday morning I'm signing papers that revoke Tristan's entire trust. 40,000 pounds gone. Her face went white. Arthur, that's his future. He made his choice about his future. I'm making mine. He'll never forgive you. I'm not looking for forgiveness, I said. I'm looking for peace. Monday morning came with emails. Lots of them. I ignored most, but one caught my attention. It was from Clara Thorne, Tristan's ex-girlfriend from college. They dated for 4 years before Isolde came into the picture. Mr. Bellwether, I heard what happened. I'm sorry. Tristan was lucky to have you. He just never realized it. Clara. Short, simple, more meaningful than anything I'd gotten from my own family. I replied, Thank you, Clara. That means more than you know. She responded within minutes. If you need someone to talk to, I'm around. Tristan and I don't speak anymore, but I remember how good you were to him. Too. Both of us. I closed the email and headed to Mr. Sinclair's office. The drive took 20 minutes through downtown Manchester traffic. Mr. Sinclair's practice was in a converted Victorian on High Street, the kind of building that looked like someone's grandmother lived there. His assistant showed me into the conference room. Mr. Sinclair was already waiting, files spread across the mahogany table. Arthur, good to see you, though I wish it was under better circumstances, Mr. Sinclair said, shaking my hand. Let's just get through this. He slid the first document across. This is the revocation for Tristan's primary trust. 40,000 pounds gets reallocated to the Veterans Education Fund. Sign here, here, and initial here. I signed without hesitation. This one's the big kahuna. The Grandchild Fund. $250,000. Same destination. Mr. Sinclair pushed another stack toward me. I flipped through the pages. Everything looked correct. Account numbers matched. Beneficiary organization properly listed. I signed each page. One more thing, Mr. Sinclair said. Tristan could theoretically challenge this if he claims you promised him the money. Did you ever put anything in writing? Never. It was always verbal. Something for the future. That's all I ever said. Good. Verbal promises of future gifts aren't legally binding. You're clear. He gathered the documents. These get filed today by end of business. Both trusts will be officially transferred. No going back. That's what I want. Mr. Sinclair leaned back in his chair. Can I speak frankly? Off the record. Go ahead. I've been doing this 30 years. Seen a lot of family disputes. This is one of the cleaner breaks I've witnessed. Most people hem and haw, second-guess themselves, try to leave doors open. You're not doing that. Because there's no door worth leaving open, I said. Fair enough. Just know that Alara could still make things complicated if she wants to. Community property laws are murky if she lawyers up and argues that fund was marital property. She won't. I am. She knew about the wedding situation for a week and said nothing. She's complicit. She knows it. Mr. Sinclair nodded slowly. All right then. We're done here. You'll get confirmation emails by tonight. I stood, shook his hand again. Thanks, Lou. Arthur, one last thing. I know this feels like justice right now, and maybe it is, but make sure you can live with it long term. These decisions stick. I can live with it just fine. On the way back to my car, my phone rang. Alara. Arthur, Tristan's trying to reach you. He says his insurance got canceled. It did. Friday night. He got into a fender bender this morning. Nothing major, but the other driver is asking for his insurance information. Not my problem. Arthur, he could get sued. Then he'd better figure it out like an adult. Why are you being so cruel? I stopped walking, stood in the middle of the sidewalk while people flowed around me. I'm not being cruel, Alara. I'm being consistent. For 19 years, I showed up. I paid. I supported. And when it mattered, when he needed to show me I was family, he cut me out. So now I'm just matching his energy. He's scared. He should be. I hung up, got in my car, drove to work, went through emails, attended a production meeting, reviewed quarterly reports, normal Monday things. Like I hadn't just redirected £250,000 and cut my stepson loose. Around 3 p.m., my assistant knocked. Rob, there's someone here to see you. Says it's personal. Who? Clara Thorne. I walked out to the lobby. Clara stood there, professional clothes, leather portfolio under her arm. She looked older than I remembered, more polished. Mr. Bellwether, sorry to show up unannounced. I was in the building for a client meeting and thought I'd stop by. Clara, call me Arthur. Come on back. We went to my office. She sat across from my desk. I won't take much of your time. I just wanted to say in person what I wrote this morning. Tristan made a huge mistake. You two still in touch? Not really, but mutual friends talk. I heard about the wedding, about what Isolde said. She paused. You were always good to me. When Tristan and I were together, you treated me like family. You were family. For a while, that's more than his real father ever did, she said quietly. We talked for 20 minutes. She told me about her job, her life. It felt normal, easy, like talking to someone who actually remembered who I was. After she left, I sat at my desk and realized something. The people who mattered, who really saw me, they weren't blood. They were the ones who showed up. Tuesday afternoon, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. California area code. I almost didn't answer. Arthur Bellwether, I said. Mr. Bellwether, this is Roger Carrington, Isolde's father. I leaned back in my chair. What can I do for you, Mr. Carrington? I think we can dispense with formalities. You know why I'm calling. I really don't. My daughter is distraught. Your stepson is panicking. They're supposed to start their lives together, and instead they're dealing with financial chaos. Sounds like a them problem, I said. Mr. Bellwether, I understand you're upset about the wedding invitation situation, but what you're doing is vindictive. Vindictive would be showing up to the wedding and making a scene. I stayed home quietly. Then I adjusted my financial arrangements. That's called boundaries. You canceled their honeymoon. I canceled a honeymoon gift. Big difference. Roger's voice hardened. I've spoken with an attorney. What you did might constitute financial elder abuse or coercive control. I laughed. Actually laughed. Elder abuse. I'm 52. And coercive control requires an ongoing relationship. We don't have one anymore. The trust fund was mine to revoke at any time. Check the paperwork. Your son-in-law doesn't have a legal leg to stand on. This isn't about legality. It's about decency. You want to talk about decency? Let's talk about your daughter calling me pathetic. Let's talk about planning a wedding for months and not having the guts to tell me face-to-face that I wasn't wanted. That's not decency. That's cowardice. Silence on the line. Mr. Carrington, if you've got nothing else, I've got work to do. We're not done, he said. Yeah, we are. I hung up. 10 minutes later, Alara called. Roger Carrington just called me. He's furious. Good. Arthur, he's talking about lawyers, about going after you legally. Let him try. Mr. Sinclair already confirmed I'm bulletproof on this. But the stress, the drama started when they excluded me. I'm just finishing what they began. Tristan's asking if you'll meet with him face to face. Just the two of you. No. Arthur, please. He's my son, and I was his father for 19 years. Past tense. She was crying now. I could hear it in her voice. I don't know how to fix this. You can't fix it. You knew what they were planning, and you said nothing. You chose a side. Now live with it. I ended the call. Blocked Roger's number preemptively. That evening, I got home to find my driveway blocked. 2 cars. One was Alara's. The other I didn't recognize. I parked on the street and walked up. Alara met me at the door. Arthur, don't be angry. Tristan's here. He brought someone. Who? Gareth. I stopped cold. His biological father is in my house. They just want to talk. Please. I pushed past her. Tristan and Gareth were sitting in my living room. Gareth stood when I entered. He looked older than I remembered. Thinner, wearing a wrinkled button-down. Arthur, thanks for seeing us, Gareth said, extending his hand. I didn't shake it. You've got 5 minutes. Start talking. Tristan spoke first. His voice shook. Arthur, I messed up. I know that now. Isolde's family pressured me, and I went along with it. I should have stood up for you. Keep going. I called you pathetic. I let Isolde disrespect you. I took everything you did for granted. He wiped his eyes. I'm sorry. Gareth cleared his throat. Arthur, I know we've never seen eye to eye, but I'm asking you. Father to father, don't punish Tristan for my failures. Father to father? I repeated. You weren't there when he had nightmares. You weren't there for his driving lessons. You weren't there for anything. Don't you dare call yourself a father to me. I'm trying to do the right thing now, Gareth said. 20 years too late. Tristan stood up. Arthur, please. I'll pay you back. Every cent. The car, the tuition, all of it. With what money? I asked. You can't even afford a honeymoon. I'll get a second job. I'll figure it out. You should have figured it out before you cut me out of your life. I didn't cut you out. I just didn't want drama at the wedding. No, I said, my voice hard. You didn't want me. Say it right. Tristan broke, started sobbing. Gareth put an arm around him. Alara stood in the doorway crying, too. I felt nothing. Your 5 minutes are up, I said. Get out of my house. Friday evening, 3 hours after I got home from work, my security system pinged. Motion at the front gate. I pulled up the camera feed on my phone. 5 people, 2 cars. Tristan's Focus in front, Alara's SUV behind it. Tristan stood at the intercom. Next to him, Isolde in jeans and a sweatshirt, eyes red. Behind them, Alara and 2 men in suits carrying briefcases. Lawyers. They'd actually brought lawyers to my house. Tristan pressed the call button. His voice came through the speaker. Arthur, please. We just want to talk. Can we come in? Rob, it was Alara. Honey, please let us in. We can work this out. One of the lawyers stepped forward. Press the button. Mr. Bellwether, my name is Todd Brennan. I represent Tristan and Isolde Hayes. We'd like to discuss a reasonable resolution to this dispute. I muted my phone and called my brother-in-law, Thomas. Alara's brother. Thomas, you at home? I asked. Yeah, just finished dinner. What's up? Alara's outside my gate with Tristan and 2 lawyers. Thought you should know. Jesus, you want me to come over? No, just wanted someone from her family to know what's happening in case this gets ugly. Arthur, man, what are you doing? Protecting myself. Thanks for listening. I hung up, unmuted the camera feed. Isolde was crying now, leaning against Tristan. Alara had her phone out, texting someone, probably me. The phone in my hand buzzed. I ignored it. The second lawyer spoke. Mr. Bellwether, we're prepared to negotiate terms. Perhaps we can discuss a partial restoration of the trust in exchange for... I turned off the speaker. Kept watching on video. Tristan said something to the lawyers. One shook his head. Tristan turned back to the camera. Pressed the button again. Arthur, I know you're watching. Please. He took a deep breath. Isolde's pregnant. We found out yesterday. We need your help. Pregnant? Of course she was. I picked up my phone and called Thomas again. That was fast, Thomas answered. They just told me Isolde's pregnant. Thought you should hear it from me before Alara spins it. Oh man, that changes things, doesn't it? No, I said. It doesn't. Arthur, come on. A grandkid. Not my grandkid. Not my problem. I wasn't good enough for the wedding. I'm not good enough for this either. Silence. Then Thomas sighed. You're really going to let them stand out there? They can leave any time they want. Nobody's forcing them to stay. I hung up. I watched the screen. Alara was on her phone now, calling someone, probably Thomas. The lawyers looked uncomfortable, shifting their weight, checking watches. After 12 minutes, The first lawyer said something to Tristan, gestured toward the cars. Tristan shook his head, said something back. The lawyer shrugged and walked to his car. The second lawyer followed. Both vehicles pulled away. Tristan is sold, and Alara remained. Tristan pressed the intercom one more time. Arthur, please. I'm begging you. I was wrong. I'll do anything. Just please talk to me. I set my phone down, walked to the kitchen, poured a bourbon, stood at the window, but not the one facing the gate. I looked out the backyard. The garden Alara had planted 3 years ago. The patio furniture we'd picked out together. My phone rang. Thomas, your wife just called me crying. She says you won't even talk to them. That Tristan's on his knees at your gate. He's not on his knees. He's standing. I'm watching the feed. Arthur, for God's sake, they brought lawyers because they're desperate. They brought lawyers because they think I can be intimidated. They're wrong. There's a baby involved now. There's always something, Thomas. Always an excuse. Always a crisis. I'm done being the emergency fund. You're going to regret this. Everyone keeps saying that. Nobody's been right yet. I ended the call. Blocked Thomas's number, too. The camera showed them leaving 20 minutes later. Alara got in her car alone. Tristan and Isolde sat in his Focus for a long time before finally driving away. I finished my bourbon, went to bed, slept fine. Sunday morning, I woke up to my phone exploding. Texts, missed calls, Facebook notifications. Something had happened overnight. I opened Facebook. Tristan had made a post public 3 hours ago. I need to be honest about something. My stepdad, who raised me since I was 8, isn't in my life anymore. Not because he's a bad person, but because I made terrible choices. I didn't invite him to my wedding because my wife thought it would be easier without him there. I called him pathetic. I took every pound he ever gave me and never said thank you. Now he's cut me off completely, and I deserve it. If you see this, Arthur, I'm sorry. I was wrong about everything. 473 comments, most supporting me. Some calling Tristan manipulative for posting it publicly. A few calling me heartless for not forgiving him. Then I saw Clara Thorne's comment. Posted an hour ago. Tristan, you don't get to publicly apologize and expect forgiveness. Arthur deserves better than a Facebook post. He deserved better than how you treated him. I closed the app, made coffee, tried to ignore my phone. Alara called at 9 o'clock. Arthur, did you see what Tristan posted? I saw it. Everyone's talking about it. His friends, my friends, people from church. This is humiliating. For who? Him or you? Both. People are asking me why this happened. What am I supposed to tell them? Tell them the truth. That your son excluded me, and you let it happen. He's trying to make it right by blasting it on social media. That's not making it right. That's damage control. What do you want from him? Nothing. That's the point. I want nothing. She hung up. My phone kept buzzing. Friend requests from people I didn't know. Messages from distant relatives. Everyone had an opinion. Then a private message from Isolde. Mr. Bellwether, I know you hate me. I deserve that. But please, for the baby's sake, can we talk? I'm 8 weeks pregnant and terrified. We have nothing. No savings, no insurance, no plan. Tristan's trying to work 3 jobs just to cover rent. Please. I stared at the message. Read it 3 times. Then I blocked her, too. An hour later, someone knocked on my door. I looked through the window. Clara Thorne. She was holding a casserole dish. I opened the door. Clara. Hey. Saw the Facebook drama. Thought you might want some company. And lasagna. She smiled. You didn't have to do this. I know, but Tristan's post pissed me off. He doesn't get to play victim after what he did to you. I let her in. We sat in the kitchen, ate lasagna, talked about everything except Tristan. Work, hobbies, life. Normal conversation with someone who didn't want anything from me. When she left 2 hours later, she hugged me at the door. You did the right thing. Don't let anyone tell you different. After she left, I went back to Facebook. Tristan's post had been shared 87 times. People were picking sides, creating teams, turning my family disaster into entertainment. I deactivated my account. Shut it all down. Monday morning, Mr. Sinclair called. Arthur, I'm getting calls. Tristan's lawyer is claiming financial elder abuse. Says you're weaponizing. Money. Can he win? Not a chance, but he can make noise. Might want to prepare for a media angle. Media? Local news loves this stuff. Stepfather cuts off ungrateful stepson. It's clickbait. Let them run it. I've got documentation for everything. Your call. Just giving you a heads up. I hung up and went to work. Did my job, came home, lived my life. They want drama? They could have it without me. 3 weeks after the Facebook post, Alara moved out. No fight, no dramatic exit. She just packed her things while I was at work and left a note on the kitchen counter. Arthur, I can't do this anymore. Tristan needs me, and you've made it clear where you stand. I'm staying with my sister. My lawyer will contact you about the separation. Alara, I read it twice. Felt nothing. Maybe relief. The divorce papers arrived 4 days later. She wanted the house, half my retirement. Her lawyer made it sound like I was the villain. Mr. Sinclair reviewed everything. She's asking for a lot. But this is a no-fault situation. We can negotiate. Give her what's fair. Nothing more. What about Tristan? She'll argue you need to restore his trust as part of marital assets. The money's gone. Legally transferred. She has no claim. She might drag this out. Let her. Work became my refuge. Meridian Dynamics promoted me to director of operations. More responsibility, more travel. I buried myself in it. Clara and I started having dinner once a week. Nothing romantic. Just two people who understood what it meant to be discarded by the same family. You doing okay? She asked one evening at an Italian place downtown. Better than I expected, I said. Tristan's still posting. Different angle now. Says he's trying to be a better father than his fathers were. Good for him. You don't care at all, do you? I thought about it. I cared for 19 years. I'm tired of caring. She nodded. I get that. 8 months after the wedding, Mr. Sinclair called. Settlement's done. Alara gets the house and 40% of the retirement. You keep everything else, including full control of all trusts and investments. She tried for Tristan's money. She tried. Judge shut it down. Said the trusts were your separate property, established before marriage with clear documentation. When do I sign? Tomorrow. Then you're free. Free. Strange word for it. The divorce finalized on a Tuesday. I signed papers in Mr. Sinclair's office. Shook his hand. Walked out into the sunshine. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. Mr. Bellwether. This is Tristan. I know you blocked me. Mom told me about the divorce. I'm sorry I destroyed your marriage. That wasn't what I wanted. I stared at it for a long moment, then deleted it without responding. 14 months after the wedding that never included me, I sold the house. Too many memories, too many ghosts. Bought a condo downtown, smaller, cleaner lines. Clara helped me move in. We'd been dating for 2 months by then. Nothing serious. Just seeing where it went. This is nice, she said, looking around the empty living room. Fresh start. That's the idea. My phone rang. Mr. Sinclair. Arthur, got some news. Tristan's lawyer tried one more angle. Claimed you defrauded him by promising money verbally. Judge laughed him out of court. It's really over. Completely. He can't touch you legally. You're bulletproof. After I hung up, Clara asked, everything okay? Yeah. Finally. She smiled. Good, because I have news, too. Remember that email I sent to the Veterans Education Fund asking about their donors? Vaguely. They're naming their new scholarship program after you. The Arthur Bellwether Scholarship for Children of Absent Fathers. $250,000 endowment. They want you at the announcement ceremony. I sat down slowly. They're doing what? You changed lives, Arthur. 20 kids are getting college money because of what you did. Something in my chest loosened. Not forgiveness for Tristan. Not reconciliation. Something else. Purpose. The ceremony was 3 weeks later. 20 families. 20 kids. Who'd grown up like Tristan, without fathers, struggling. I shook hands, took photos, listened to their stories. One kid, 17, looked like Tristan at that age. Mr. Bellwether, thank you. My dad left when I was 6. Nobody ever stepped up. This scholarship means everything. I nodded, unable to speak. That night, Clara and I had dinner at my place. You did good today, she said. I just redirected money. You redirected it to people who deserved it. That's not nothing. My phone buzzed. Alara. Arthur, Tristan's daughter was born yesterday. 7 pounds, healthy. Thought you should know. I showed Clara the text. You going to respond? She asked. No. You sure? I thought about it. About 19 years of showing up. About a wedding invitation that never came. About the word pathetic. I'm sure, I said, and deleted the message. Some bridges you don't rebuild. You just walk away and let them collapse behind you. I built something better instead. 20 scholarships, a new life, a woman who saw me clearly and stayed anyway. Tristan got what he wanted, a life without me in it. And I got what I earned, peace.